Welcome to City Pulse. My name is Pamela Payne, and I'm here with Mayor Ron Arnold, Police Chief Sam Hanna, and our new humane officer, Will Maluvac. Guys, thank you for talking with me today.
You got all those names correct, Pam. I'm so impressed.
Yeah. I hear you are our new humane officer.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm 19. I just graduated Sunday. From a big family, or born in a big Catholic family, and just like that, have fun, like a regular kid with a full-time job.
What led you to be interested in the humane officer position?
My ultimate goal is to become a police officer, and so I saw this as an opportunity to come up here, to get to stay with the police department and also work and help out with the family and stuff like that too. Just pocket some money.
I've been told that you've been riding around with the animal control officer for Madison County.
Yes.
How has that worked out for you?
That's been a real eye-opener. She has done a lot of teaching me about every kind of animal, from horses to kittens. We've learned a lot.
Now, are you having to take any schooling or training for this position?
We have 2 schools lined up. One is, it's a level 1 animal control officer training, and that is down in Louisville, Kentucky, and that's going to be a 5-day long training. And then become level 2, it's in August, and I'll go there, and that will be a 4-day training down over in Ohio. And then I'll be certified as an animal control officer.
Is there any testing or anything that you have to do?
You have to keep an 80% the whole time that you're there.
What are some of the goals that you have set for yourself in your new career?
For the animal control part, I want to be more of an aid to the community, help people more than help people other than an authority figure, and keep my bosses happy.
That's a good answer, isn't it?
That's a great answer.
Now, I hear that you are registered to take criminal justice in the fall.
Yeah, at Ivy Tech. So I'm going to be going to school for a police officer while learning also here on the job as animal control officer.
How long will you have to be in school for that?
I'm planning to go for 2 years for an associate's degree.
I heard there's some changes coming as far as the police force. Can you explain to us a little bit about that?
It's my ultimate goal, as the county has been, they have 2 animal control officers who are actual police officers. And my goal is, maybe the next 2 or 3 years, work this position into being an actual police officer, along with being the animal control officer, because of supporting the city ordinances and the state law. They should have arrest powers and be able to, well, like the county did just recently, just north of here, where the animals are being abused. They actually worked the case and made multiple arrests and filed, I think, hundreds of charges. That I want all officers to be able to do that, so as to not only serve the people of this community, but protect the animals so that they're treated the way they should be treated.
Now, will you be a part of the new shelter that's coming into town?
Yes, I'm going to be corresponding a lot with that shelter, helping them out.
Ron, what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, we're excited to have Will on board. He's a sharp young man, a product of Old Community Schools, just graduated. I went to Will's graduation reception. Beyond having the best candy bar of all graduation parties, his mom put a killer candy bar together. But beyond that, in seriousness, his table with his certificates and awards and all the things that Will has done in school would just boggle your mind, Pam. very involved in athletics, great, good grades, tremendous student from elementary school on. Will has been an intern in the police department prior to graduating, so we got to know Will firsthand while he was finishing his high school. So he wasn't someone new to us, but when we opened applications to anyone interested, and Will applied like everyone else, and the chief put them through a training or a series of tests because we wanted whoever was hired to actually be able to be a police officer too. So they had to pass some physical tests, written tests, all the things that if he was becoming a police officer he would have to pass. We did not want to hire someone that we invested in training, equipment, knowledge, experience, that as we transform this position into an actual position on the police department, that then we would find they wouldn't be able to make that step because there are a lot of physical requirements to being a police officer. So all the applicants were asked to go through that testing, and it came down to there was a final 2 people out of all the folks that applied to be that. Will was one of the 2 finalists, and in the end, the things that he had done here and in the department and through the internship and some other things sort of put him over the top over the other guy, who was very qualified as well. But we're thrilled that he's a local guy, building a career, wanting to stay here, raise a family, do all the things that we're hoping to accomplish as we bring jobs and we turn things around in this community. So we're excited in that part. Also, as we break ground this summer on the new humane shelter, that organization is busy filing all their paperwork to become a 501c3 nonprofit organization so that they can handle all of the operations of that shelter. And Will be an integral part in working with that board and that committee with the humane shelter, and being a direct liaison to the city, to the residents for that facility and for that organization. So he's going to have lots of bosses and lots of people who want to see things happen, and he's up for the challenge, I believe, and I think the chief believes fully in him. And so we're excited about how we're going to be able to take all of this to the next level and how this community responds to the problems that we have with animals. And we've talked about on this program before, over 90% of the animals that you see on the streets are not neutered or spayed. They're not vaccinated. Practically, very few of our animals are microchipped. So we've got a lot of work to do and a lot of ground to cover, and it's going to take the energy and enthusiasm. And if Al had a Zoom on his thing, I mean, the guns this guy has, I mean, he's a weightlifter. He's out for it. So he's not going to be intimidated by any animal he comes across, but he's got all the things necessary to be successful, we believe. And as the residents get to meet him and work with him, his first day on the job, the end of that day, I'm in the dollar market, and I have someone come up to me and say, "I want to talk to you about your new animal control officer." Yikes, it's day 1 for this young man. Oh, here we go.
Now.
And Will had saved his wife from a wild animal and that had gotten in her vehicle. And so he was excited about how Will responded to it, how he treated his wife, and just the professional way that he went about his job. So day 1 on the job, this young man was out there getting the call. One of the key changes we've made is our animal control officer is not working 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. This is an on-call position. He carries a mobile phone. The number is accessible, and we'll be sure that Al has that number and can post it on there. I neglected to write it down and give it to you ahead of time, but I'm sure that Al will put it on the site. But he's on call, and he's going to be going to school and getting his degree, but he's accessible, available. If he is not available, a police officer will be assigned to take any calls that he would get in his absence. So the police department is fully behind this young man. They're working in unison together because they all understand where this is going over the next couple of years. And I'm excited to...
They understand it more now than ever after not having an animal control officer for the last 6 weeks. And we've been taking all the calls, so from day one, he's been the most popular guy on the department right now.
They were ready for him to go to work. And I know the residents were ready to have someone to call. And I apologize, it took us a while. There was a gap. As the chief mentioned, there was about 6 weeks that we did not have an animal control officer. But we wanted to get this right. We didn't want to jump into something. We wanted to get it right. We wanted to make sure that the person we hired was going to be there, be an integral part of the department and of the city. And this is long term. We weren't looking to hire someone just for the interim. So we expect Will to build a career here and retire from city employment. And so this is long-term stuff. So we wanted to get it right. We know that it was a hassle for those of you who were making calls and asking for assistance from the animal control officer, but he's here and he's dynamite, and we're excited to be moving forward.
And what's kind of exciting about it is the way the statute reads. Not only does he answer to me as chief, but he answers to this board that's over this new facility we're going to have. I mean, it's specifically mentioned within the statute that when you're a humane officer, there's a board, and you get somewhat your authority from this board. So Will understands that he'll have several different bosses that he'll be answering to, but the ultimate goal of his job is to support and serve the people of Elwood.
Are you excited about this position?
I'm very excited.
What was the one thing that you wanted to do when you were a little kid?
Be a police officer.
Now it's coming true.
And he's worked very hard for that, so we're excited. And I just, Will is a testament to the great young people that we do have in our community. Sometimes we get fixated on those who are less than stellar, but if you look closely, we have lots of dynamic young people. I attended several graduation parties and of dynamic young people that are just have bright futures. So Will is one of those, and we're proud that we're going to keep him here in Elwood. He's not going to get away. So
Yesterday was kind of interesting because we were called to assist the county out in the county because they had a missing young girl, and Will volunteered to go help in the search. So he has that public service mind. And then a little bit ago, our office lady came in and said, I know this isn't part of your job description, but this wall has been turned in. As you're out there, would you mind dropping it off? And without hesitation, he says, yeah, I'll be happy to do that. So he understands that it's going to be a little bit more than just an animal control officer, although that's his main duties, but to do whatever he can to support the police department.
So look for that new vehicle that we have that the humane officer will drive.
It's very masculine looking.
I warned him before he was hired that he had to be secure in his masculinity, Pam, because it's going to have a kitty cat and a puppy dog on it. So he accepted that challenge. So as we say, real men wear pink. He'll be able to embrace kitty cats and puppy dogs. So, look, that vehicle will be very identifiable as he drives around the community. And but we really wanted it that way. We wanted folks to see him out and about. His job is out there, not in here. And we know Al will get that number up. If you have any issue with an animal or a question, please call Will. If he doesn't have the answer, he'll get it for you. I want to let folks know that if you're not taking care of your animals properly, as the chief mentioned, we had a horrific situation north of Elwood on the farm, but more minor things. This animal control officer can issue tickets and levy fines if you're not complying with the ordinance of the city and handling your animals in a proper manner. So for all of his great attributes and the great smile that he has, he'll have a ticket book too. So please comply with city ordinances and know what those are. Those are posted online. Al has a link to the city website where you can have access to all those. But we will be enforcing the city ordinances that exist on care and housing of animals. So for all the other things that he'll have, he will have a ticket book too. So
We're gonna have to get a picture of that car too.
Yes, we are.
I thank you very much for talking with us, and congratulations on your new position.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching City Pulse.